Shepo, is your mic on mute?
Are you on mute?
Oh dear.
Now we can hear you.
The first ball was no run with a block by Karanawati into the a block into the covers. So no runs, no drama.
Henrik Walk here, bowling.
Right, Chepo, do we have you on air, mate? As the second ball is bowled by Henrik Nortje, right arm around the wickets to Dimuth Karunaratne, who's opening today. He's 91 overnight, and Sri Lanka 150 for 4.
Yeah. Chepo, you're
chat first, mate. Chepo's mic is muted, so let's see if we can. No. Right, so it will be Henrik Nortje to continue to the left-handed Karunaratne, one of many, many left-handers in the Sri Lankan team, angling it in, and this is just turned around the corner, down to fine leg, where it is Lutus Apamla, who will, no, that is Lungi Giri, who is doing the fielding down there, and he just tosses it back into Quinton de Kock, and no run. What are your guys' predictions about how this is going to unwind today?
I suspect it'll be over by lunch, or it's not completely, pretty much. But there is an outside chance that we could be here at tea time. But I suspect it'll be predominantly all over by lunch.
Henrik Nortje in again and just worked off the back foot through a vacant third man area that's going to run all the way down for 4. The first runs of the morning. It is actually Niroshan Dekwela who has been facing. So he moves on to 22. Sri Lanka 155, and the lead now grows into double figures. So if they can get add another 26, they at least reach a point where they might actually have a historically defendable total.
Absolutely. I think that Karunaratne just has to think of himself as going for a double century. He's been batting so bravely so far, and
he has indeed left outside the off stump and no run.
I wonder if.
But I suspect this will.
Sorry, Ravi.
Yeah.
I wonder if Mickey Arthur was on speed dial to Steve Waugh to find out how to score runs with the Wanderers, because Steve Waugh and Greg Blewett put on 385 some time ago on this pitch, in this ground.
Yeah, and well, the South Africans, Rassie van der Dusen and Dean Elgar put on a 150-run stand in this very same test, so it can be done. It's just a question of how you go about doing it.
There certainly hasn't been too many demons in that first over. The Sri Lankan wicketkeeper looking very, very competent against Henrik Nortje. And if you compare that to the opening couple of overs that New Zealand bowled to the Pakistani openers this morning, after New Zealand had put on, 500 and plenty. It looks far more manageable here at the Wanderers. So I'm not as bullish as Tim. I think that we could well see a substantial partnership here, and then maybe some cameos from further down the order.
Well, whichever way it goes, it's going to be hashtag Simon's fault. We know that. It's all your fault.
Well, it does sound like we've got Chepo, which is great news. It means that I can get on with doing grown-up to it.
Fantastic. Oh, good to hear. All right, guys. Yeah, sorry about all these technical difficulties. Just some microphone
you can take over.
No problem. Fantastic. So I'm hoping that Chepo, on your feed, you're about to see Ngidi start bowling his over, and I'll leave the rest of you guys to maybe just adjust your feed to Chepo's, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Good.
That's great. Henrik Nortje just finished his over on my end here. So we're still in the middle of that change happening. I'll tell you when Ngidi's about to bowl his first ball, or at least when he bowls his first ball, and then give ball by ball then.
Absolutely.
Shots. How are you guys doing? It's good to hear that I'm actually heard here.
It's good to have you on. And I think without echoes either, and you're not breaking up, so that's good.
Champions! Okay, we have Lungi Ngidi. I think he's coming from the corner drive end. Just warming up here on my side.
Mm-hmm.
And he's about to... Oh, it's a golf course end, and he's coming in from around the wicket. He's just past the umpire, and this one into Quinton de Kock's hands for no run.
It's interesting that both the South African bowlers are now going around the wicket to the two left-handers.
Lungi Ngidi's seen a lot of success with around the wickets, also in the Centurion test to the left-handers. I think he's looking for that ball that sort of like jags out. So angling into the lefty and then jagging out, making sure that they actually play at, keep them playing.
Yeah, I can see why Lungi's doing it. I'm not so sure why Nokia's doing it, but I can see why
this one
he's doing it.
Much straighter on the stumps, clipped off the pads by Kunaratne, down to a backward square leg, a deep one for no run. For 1 run, sorry. Yes, you were saying about Nokia?
Well, you don't want to give somebody like Dikwela width. So that's what one of the reasons. You want to tack him up as possible because he wants to throw his hands to the ball whenever he gets a chance. So, Judy has that ability to straighten the ball from time to time. But I am a little bit surprised Nokia is doing the same thing. If I was him, I would be going over and bowling in at the body.
And then Gidi from around the wicket, this one blocked for no run.
Dikwela and Karunaratne have the technique to cope with this. So I think we'll soon see Nokia going over the wicket, as you said, Tim, because he's not the type of bowler to make the round the wicket line work. You're absolutely right. But let's see how Ngidi does first against these two.
I think with Nokia, still trying to find his lens. He's still trying to find that sweet spot because he's been a little bit all over the place in the second innings. First innings, he got a lot of wickets, but it's not coming off this time round. He did get a wicket earlier, though. As Ngidi comes from around the wicket, this one blocked back to the bowler for no run.
Yeah. There's no action on the tweet front, except for me saying that if South Africa lose, it will be Simon's fault, hashtag. And Craig Nutley replied saying the weather is partly cloudy, should suit the bowling. Predicted rain for tomorrow. If South Africa win, it will have to be today. If Sri Lanka win, it will be an enthralling test match. SA, hashtag SA versus SL. If these two put on a stand, that could be very worrying for South Africa.
100%. Ngidi coming from around the wickets. This one on the fourth stump line, in fact, for no run into Quinton de Kock's gloves.
I think the best Asian teams that come here, the best ones leave the ball. And these two this morning are leaving the ball very well. If you want to succeed in South Africa, you have to be able to leave that fourth stump delivery. And these two are doing it well so far.
The thing is, we've been so used in this series so far to watching Kusal Pereira batting, and he doesn't leave anything outside the off stump. He hits it. So we've forgotten that the South Africans are very good at leaving the ball.
And this one just on the fourth line stump, but driven by Dikwela for 4 runs through the covers. Fantastic cover drive. And that is the end of Lungi Ngidi's over. Sorry for interrupting there, gents. Sri Lanka sitting on 160 for 4. And Dikwela looking very comfy in the crease, straight from the middle of the bat. 4 runs, good sir.
That was a very, very good drive. Nokia, is he going to throw around the wicket still, or is he going to go for what is naturally a better line for him?
I will have to see. I think he's probably going to go from over the wickets. That boundary brings up the 50 partnership between Dikwela and Karunaratne. Contribution from Karunaratne 20 and 26 from Dikwela, and that is 51 of 82 balls. As Nokia comes from around the wickets from the Corlet drive in, and this one punished by Karunaratne through the covers for 4 runs. Yes, these drives are looking absolutely immaculate. So neat.
And Nokia is not really getting his line right. He doesn't have the skills to jab the ball out the way Ngidi can. So perhaps he'd be better advised to go over the wicket.
He needs to go over the wicket, and he needs to go back sort of middle stump. That's where he's for. Because when he gets an extra bounce.
And this one a bit wider and off the back foot, cut by Karunaratne for 4 runs. And that brings up his century, his 10th Test century for Sri Lanka. Absolutely great innings here, an innings that kept their team alive, quite frankly. And it's good to see that the captain's made a captain's contribution.
Absolutely. It's been a brave knock. It's been full of determination and courage. And he fully deserves all the runs he's got.
His highest
100%. We have the stats here. Sorry, Tim, say again?
His highest score against South Africa is 58 not out. So he'll want to, if Sri Lanka want any chance in this test, he'd want to break that. He wants to break that record.
And this one just leaps off a length, literally almost decapitating Karunaratne, but he controls this into the ground for a single on the leg side. Sri Lanka sitting on 169 for 4. Oh,
so
that was going for his throat. Yes, if his gloves didn't get in the way there, could have been devastating.
Already the lead is in the 20s, isn't it?
24.
And this is the fifth over of the morning.
I believe so. And Nokia, from around the wicket, this one just past the inside edge of De Coela's bat into Quinton de Kock's hands. A bit of movement as it was going towards Quinton de Kock to a movement to the left. Oh, hectic. We're still in the game here.
That's one of my real pet peeves. If you've got somebody like Nokia with his pace and aggression, early on in a new day, when batsmen have to get themselves in, and you bowl a ball like the penultimate delivery, and you don't have a short leg, then the delivery is almost wasted.
Yeah.
And this one blocked back to Nokia for no run.
Nokia is using his pace and now is bowling a better line, much closer to the stumps, and he is troubling them. So at least give him that much.
So we saw Maharaj getting a wicket yesterday. When do you think he's going to be brought in on this day? Is he even going to be brought in today?
Well, very good question. I think Keshav Maharaj has in this test been redundant, to be perfectly honest. They might as well have replaced him with a specialist batsman.
Honestly. And this one blocked quite square for 1 run at the end of the over. Nokia ends his over. His figures 1 for 56, and Sri Lanka sitting on 170 for 4. Now, I must agree with you.
Spinners traditionally don't do well in the Wanderers. However, if you're going to pick him, he has to bowl. Otherwise, as Robin said, play the batsman. But especially with Pakistan, overs behind him. So it's very, very strange.
No, it is very peculiar.
You can't use the test as preparation for another test series, can you? I mean, overs behind him is all very well, but you want to win this test. And if Keshav Maharaj was surplus to requirements, he should just have been left out. And that's my feeling.
And this one, Ngidi from around the wickets bowled into Quinton de Kock's gloves for no run. Oh.
That was certainly true the first innings. That was certainly true the first innings, but I do think yesterday, before lunch, he could have been given 3 or 4 overs to see if he was going to get anything with a newish ball. But certainly in the first innings, there was no no time for him. I agree with that. I
Yeah.
think
And then Gidi from around the wicket. De Quella driven this one a bit square, and it's going for 4 runs once again. Sri Lanka sitting on 174 for 4. De Quella on 31 and Karunaratne on 102. Great timing with that shot there.
And this is where we see, I think, just as much as any other reason, why South Africa are missing KG Rabada. Because these overs are going for 4 runs each. That's not the way Test cricket should be played, particularly when you've got your opposition under the cosh.
Exactly. And this one off, it gets a lot more air bouncing off a length, but into Quinton de Kock's gloves. De Quella cutting at this one, but missing it. So you can see there's a very aggressive frame of mind this morning. Yeah, and you're right. We need someone to just tighten up at least one end. We have 2 people just on both ends, just leaking runs every over.
They're bowling 4 balls every over. They're like leg spinners or something.
And it's I'll come in after the ball.
And Lungi Ngidi running up here, still coming from around the wicket into De Quella. Oof, this one jags just a little bit, passing the bat. There was quite a bit of daylight though, but the movement was definitely there. Into Quinton de Kock's hands, no run.
Yeah, that was all morning.
To get that ball straightened. But on the earlier on the bowling in general, it's because South African team doesn't have a leader in the attack. He doesn't have an Alan Donald, Dale Steyn, KG Rabada. None of these pace bowlers, as talented as they are a natural leader. So nobody's pulling in the other to tighten things up. That's part of the problem.
Exactly.
Yep, that's why we're missing KG, because they can't bowl in 4
hands for no run.
Umpo says the same thing on Twitter. He said, not the start South Africa needed. Sri Lanka feel they can win this by being patient and waiting for the frequent bad balls. Karunaratne's century was good to settle the nerves for SL. Yes, Karunaratne's century will have settled his nerves and helped Sri Lanka. But it's those frequent bad balls, those bad deliveries that Sri Lanka just drive or cut outside the off stump that are taking the initiative away from South Africa entirely. The run rate today, it's been 4 overs and 6 runs and over. That's
6 runs and over. Yo, that's massive. And this one, last ball of Lungi Ngidi's over was blocked to mid on for no run. And Sri Lanka sitting on 174 for 4. As you were saying, there needs to be seniority, some discipline, and that's exactly what we're lacking here. You can see how we're missing KG Rabada, and that's why I think it would be ideal to bring in the likes of Keshav Maharaj, just to tighten up one end to take pressure off the bowlers, because they don't seem to be coping. And I mean, going at 6 runs and over, come on, gents, come on. This isn't what we're looking for.
I completely agree with you. Isn't he going off the field? No.
I didn't.
Sorry, Tim, say again?
Say anything. And every time we find ourselves in the last 2 test matches, the man to go to is a young 21-year-old in Beyond Malta. And every that should not be happening. We shouldn't have to go to a young newcomer to tighten things up. It should be.
Yes, absolutely. Agree with you.
A senior bowler. Exactly. And Okietu Karunaratne, this one played to the leg side for no run. Now it is, you're 100% right. So it's we're asking the young guns to step up in senior positions, and we'd like the likes of Lungi Ngidi to be stepping up. But can you really blame them? I mean, how many test matches does he have under his belt? Let me quickly check. It's not a lot. Is it even 10?
They're all very experienced.
And this one, a quick single by Karunaratne, played to the offside for 1 run.
The fact is, though, that Ngidi should be stepping up as the senior bowler. I agree that he's not that experienced at Test cricket, but it's his job. This is his opportunity, in fact, to lead the attack.
Mm.
And
only six Test matches under his belt, but yeah.
But he admitted that he has not bowled as well as he'd have liked.
And this one just bounces off a
test.
length and played to the leg side by De Quella for 1 run. Sri Lanka sitting on 176 for 4. So yes, continue, Ravi.
Yeah, so I mean, Ngidi, he's a young guy. He's only got 6. This is his 6th test. But
sorry, I'm still a bit behind. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, don't worry. The fact is that Nortje relies on pace, but Nortje has even less or fewer matches behind him than Ngidi. And okay, I'll say it.
This one played to the offside by Kunuranate for no run. Sorry, Ravi?
No, Nortje actually has more tests under his belt than Ngidi, but wouldn't it be great for transformation if Ngidi stepped up as the senior bowler and maybe took Sabama along with him, so that those two could be the men who take South Africa through this test, to win this test? It's asking a lot, but it would be great if it happened.
Oh, and this one clipped right into the air, straight up, and it's taken by square leg. Nortje strikes. They got the big man, Karunaratne. Vian Mulder got under that one. Very well done, young man. Stepping up is Nortje here. This is definitely his test match. And they've got the big fish, Karunaratne, for 103 of 128 balls. Bowled by Nortje, caught by Vian Mulder. Yes, and that one just jumped off a length, didn't it?
It did. I mean, Nortje is still coming round the wicket, though he isn't getting that movement outside off. But what he's doing is bowling at the stumps now, and he's troubling them with his pace and a slight variation in bounce. Craig Nutley writes to us, I missed the first 15 minutes, but I heard the word leaking runs. And Karunaratne's 102 of 125 balls. Sri Lanka seemed to be negating any movement off the pitch. Good momentum, hoping for a full day's play. I missed Test cricket. Tuned into 1WSR.com. Well, you've been overtaken by events, Craig, because we've just seen Nortje take the wicket of Karunaratne with a steepling ball. Well, not steepling, but certainly a ball that bounced more than he expected, and a very high catch to square leg. So let's see what happens now, because there is a fear that now that Karunaratne is gone, Sri Lanka could collapse.
I like to call that the David Warner shot. It's not a hook, it's not a ball, it's something in between. Warner's been out in that fashion an awful lot in his career, especially in the last couple of years. Sort of caught in between two minds, not sure whether hook or pull, and doing neither.
Yep. I suppose one of the problems is...
That's 45-degree bat as well.
One of the problems is that batsmen today are so inclined towards... Yep. Seppo, you're breaking.
Towards?
You're breaking up, Seppo.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah.
Hello?
We can hear you. I think you're going to have to hold the mic up to your mouth all the time.
Here he's all the time. Hectic. I feel like a broadcaster now. Yes, and we're sitting here in Tempo's room, and as we can see, the microphone isn't working quite well. But Darshan Shanaka has come into the middle of the pitch here, and he's ready to face up to the pacing Nortje. And Tim, what do you think of this variation in bounce? Do you think that's Nortje's tactic as he comes into... Whoa! This one just flies but backstop picks it up. There might be a run out opportunity, but yeah, that could have been 4 buys, turned 4 into 1 over there, and that ball just soared off a length, flew over Quinton de Kock. So do you think that's the tactic here from Heinrich Nortje?
Well, he's bowling round. He's bowling over the wicket now. So
I don't think it's necessarily a tactic. I think it's perhaps the pitch, the bounce of the pitch becoming maybe a little bit inconsistent, rather than a tactic of trying to do one or the other.
Well, it is the 3rd day. In theory, the pitch should have settled down by now, but it's not quite clearly. And Bjorn Mulder took that high catch very well. But Heinrich Nortje, with his pace, is getting the most out of the bounce of this pitch, the variable, whatever variation there is in bounce. And yes, he should rely on that, I think. But bowling over the wicket is much better for him than bowling around. My opinion.
Agreed.
Even though he got that wicket bowling around the wicket. Bowling around, yeah. Too many wickets in that sentence. So let's see. But he's bowling over now to Shanaka, so maybe he sees sense in that. What I will say is that South Africa at least seem to have a plan of bowling around.
Now, just seeing replays of this.
Batsman.
Yeah.
Depending upon the batsman. Which means that they know what they're trying to do, even though it isn't always working. But as long as they've got the plan and stick to it, they will get Sri Lankan wickets eventually.
De Kock hits that down.
Sorry, I just missed.
3rd man for 4, and they move on to 181 for 5. All good, Triple, all good.
Yeah.
Can you hear us, Triple?
Chippo, are you there?
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello.
Yes.
Give me a moment.
Yes, I can hear you.
Now.
Yeah.
Tim, can you hear?
Yes. Yeah.
And yes. Yo, guys, this has been the theme song of 2020, the catchphrase. Can you hear me? Is it on? Jeepers creepers. I can't wait to just be in the stands. As Lungi Ngidi comes from around the wicket, this one chipped off the toe of the bat, and Themba Bavuma finds himself under it. 2 quick wickets. The set batsmen have both fallen now to Lungi Ngidi and Heinrich Nortje. The pace bowlers doing the job here for the South Africans, and well done to the young man.
I think my prediction is going to happen.
It's looking very likely. 2 set batsmen, both gone now.
Sri Lanka could collapse, as I said. It all depends upon Shanaka. And is it Hasaranga coming in next? Isn't it Hasaranga who's due next?
Probably. And we're just seeing a replay of this shot here, and the bat just turns in De Kock's hands as he gets a thick leading edge, and this flies in the air all the way to a deepish a square mid-on region, if that makes sense, and are caught by Themba Bavuma. Fantastic innings, or decent innings.
Wasn't it
mid-off? My mistake. Thank you, Nari. Mid-off, yes, to a mid-off region. And that's De Kock out for 36. We're really going to get the statistics. 36 off 68 balls, 6 fours in his innings, and at a strike rate of 52.94. Bowled Ngidi and caught by Themba Bavuma.
That man Themba, he's everywhere.
He really is, eh? He really is. Quite the nippy player. He's very quick for his size as well.
Yes, he's a pocket rocket, is Artezozo.
Pocket rockets. And that brings Hasaranga into bat here. We'll get you his stats. This is his 2nd test match, highest of 59. So he can actually wield the blade. But obviously going to be... Wait a second. Oh, Hasaranga does... Oh, that makes sense.
He has got ability with the
yes, sorry. Yeah, no, 100%.
I think he's actually an overall rounder. bit of a rider ability.
Well,
I'm quickly
he
going to bring up
didn't
his
do
stats.
much by way of bowling, did he? Yesterday, he was quite rubbish actually when he bowled. So
Yeah, I
uh,
don't rate his leg spin, but
Ngidi coming over
I
the
think he's
wicket to the
done-
right-handed Hasaranga to end his. Oh no, it's not the end of the over. Sri Lanka sitting on 181 for 6.
I think he's done quite
Ngidi-
well with the ball in the white ball cricket. Hasaranga. I think he's done quite well on that.
well, as a leg spinner, being the only, I made this point yesterday. How can he be the only spinner Sri Lanka brought into this match? A leg spinner? Seriously? I can understand if he was Shane Warne or something, but he's an untried, inexperienced bowler, and he's being asked to be their only spin bowler.
Ngidi bowls this one to the stumps and it's blocked for no run.
I think
It's very
I think
strange.
if Matthew come, Matthews was fit,
Mm-hmm.
then they would have got somebody like Ipolgeria or Duran Pereira, who are both here. But I think the fact that they wanted somebody
Embledenia is just warming the
with some
bench.
ability to back. Yeah. So I would have gone with the proper frontline spinner. I agree, but I think they attacked both areas.
Well, Hasaranga had just better bloody justify his selection with the bat, at least, because he didn't
100%.
justify it with the ball.
And that's Ngidi's over as he bowls this one on the stumps and Hasaranga blocks for no run. Sri Lanka sitting on 181 for 6 with a lead of 36 and 4 wickets in hand. And just look at his stats here. In first class cricket, he's got himself a hefty amount of runs, highest of 120 at an average of 42. So he can actually wield the blade, and hopefully this will justify his selection. But maybe that's why they brought him to get more of an all-rounding spinner than just someone that just offers you something with the ball.
Maybe because they have a depleted squad, unfortunately, after the first test and all those injuries. But he's even his 59 was that in the first innings of the first test, where Sri Lanka were just going berserk and having fun anyway for their 389.
Heinrich Nortje to
sure
Shanaka and this one into Quinton de Kock's hands.
Because I'm not sure if runs scored in that inning should count. To be perfectly honest, I don't know.
I think it was in the second innings, though. I'm quickly going to check the stats, but I do believe it was in the second innings.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it was in the second innings. In the first innings, he got 18. Second innings, he got 59.
Oh, well, fair enough then, because that second innings was a disaster for Sri Lanka. So if he scored 59,
really nice. And this one left by Shanaka for no run.
Well done him.
So what's the name of the game for these two Sri Lankan batsmen? Is it stay in as long as possible? Is it try to get the run rates up and maximize the amount of runs? Don't die wishing or die wondering. That's the word. What's the conversation between the two batsmen in the middle?
Knowing batsmen who are only slightly more intellectual than bowlers, they're probably going, yeah, do your best, mate. We'll have a good lunch. Profound tactics and strategy are not really.
Say again?
Sorry. I know. Do the ball by ball. Sorry, first. That should.
This one into Quinton de Kock's hands for no run. Sorry, I thought I said that.
Right. No, I don't think cricketers on the field are really thinking strategically or even tactically, really. To be perfectly honest, I mean, we've got two right-handed batsmen in now instead of the two left-handers, which will make the South Africans feel more comfortable because they're more accustomed to bowling to right-handers. But whether they get their lines right and do things
this
right,
one into Quinton de Kock's gloves for no run.
And the batsman will just be going, okay, am I surviving? Can I score? But beyond that, I don't think their thought processes are going to go too far. They're just thinking, I'll do my best. What else can I do?
So, Tim, are you still sitting with that prediction of being done by lunch as Nokia comes? This one bounced.
Still sticking with that prediction. Still sticking up with that prediction.
I think it's going to. Yeah.
Even with stats that you told us about Hasaranga, I'm still sticking with my analysis. I also think that as going forward, Sri Lanka must just try and score as many as they can. I don't think they should just throw everything at the bat. I think they should just play normal cricket, play normally, and see how many they can get. These two can bat, they have ability. So just try to get as much as they can.
And this one just beats the outside of Shanaka's bats into Quinton de Kock's hands for no run. Sri Lanka sitting on 181 for 6, and that was a maiden by Heinrich Nokia.
Yeah. Umpo tweets into us saying, Sri Lanka throwing it all away with nothing shots. Gura essay, can we get Ngidi his Michelle, please? Ngidi sitting on 4 wickets, so a fifer is possible, definitely. And Armchair Cricket Podcast also tweets in, saying Nokia has broken through the defences of Karunaratne and Dikwala, follows him by spooning 1 or 2 mid-off off the bowling of Ngidi. South Africa have an upper hand within the first 30 minutes in what could have been an intriguing and exciting session. What do you think it would be intriguing and exciting if South Africa hadn't taken wickets?
And this one blocked by Shanaka for no run, and Ngidi into the attack now. Oh, sorry, blocked by Hasaranga for no run, and Ngidi into the attack. Sorry, continue, Tim.
Oh, the fans have finished by lunch, but the real cricket enthusiasts would say, let's take it in to early day 4. But I don't think that's possible now. I think that possibility now gone.
I don't think that's possible unless Hasaranga and Shanaka have innings of a lifetime. Craig Nutley says, big wicket for Nokia, and another as I type, kind of dims my hope for an enthralling test match. Shanaka has 4 matches under his belt, averages 15 plus, and Hasaranga 1 match. It's done. Back to work. Thanks for being there.
And this one bowled closer to the legs, but blocked to the onside for no run.
I think everyone is just expecting this match to be over and done with. If not in this session, as Tim says, then at least in the next session, because we don't expect much from these Sri Lankans.
No, I don't expect to go to day 4 either, as Lungi Ngidi comes to the attack, and this one beats the stumps, beats the bats. Big opportunity there. He's prodding that perfect line and length on top of off stump. Fantastic.
That was fantastic, Ngidi.
Look at that scene presentation. Ooh. Just a bit of movement in the air and just keeping straight and just beats the edge of the bat. Oh, wowee. There's blood in the water again.
This is Ngidi's home turf, isn't it? No, what I meant was this is his comfort zone, really. Against the right-handed bat, with the ball just dragging off the seam, tempting them outside off stump.
And as you're saying that, Hasaranga getting impatient, a big heave, trying to play down the ground, but misses it completely, and the ball just misses the bat. Look at that movement in the air. Oh, it is incredible. Ooh, now that is quality bowling. Wowee.
I don't think Hasaranga is playing for lunch.
No, not at all. Not at all. He's gonna go down. Dang it! If I'm going down, you're going down with me. Not going down without a fight. As he comes in for his penultimate ball, this one finds the bat but blocked into the offside for no run.
Ngidi shouldn't get frustrated by this. He should just be hopeful because he's been by far the best of the South African batsmen in this innings. Seppo, was it you who said Keshav Maharaj bowled? I don't think he did.
No, he didn't. It was Nokia that got the wickets. No, I was mistaken. He didn't bowl yesterday.
No, Keshav Maharaj hasn't bowled in this match at all. So he's only in it for his runs, which is...
And they weren't many. They weren't many. And this one blocked straight back to Ngidi. Another maiden over for the South Africans. Sri Lanka sitting on 181 for 6.
So that's the lead of 36?
I believe so. Let me just make... Yes, 36 runs.
Yeah, that's going to be very difficult for South Africa to get. Remember, India went down for 36. Remember, India went down for 36 against Australia in that first test.
Yeah. It's not to be scoffed at. The pitch is offering just a little bit of variation in bounce, but hopefully we have enough wickets and enough batsmen to play patiently. And I guess that's the name of the game. You've got to play a patient innings to get some runs as Nokia comes into the attack. And this one just chipped to the leg side, and Shanaka gets off the mark with a shot to square leg. Sri Lanka 182 for 6.
You say patient, Seppo, but think about it. The scoring rates in both these matches have been close to 4 runs and over.
That's true.
There's been no patience on display. Even Elgar, with his great century yesterday, was scoring at 76.
At the strike rate,
about 4.5 and over in Simon's table, so good. The point is that I don't know if these guys have patience. The only batsman who showed patience was Rossi van der Dusen in the first day.
To the offside by Hasaranga for a single.
And he got stick for it. He got criticized for it. So,
but would you not argue that that's what the Sri Lankans need? They need someone to anchor the innings now, just to stay in so that people can bowl around. You know, maybe Shanaka could just stick around so that the tail can bowl around him, and maybe Hasaranga, one of the two. But there needs to be some sort of solidity to prevent a collapse, is what I'm saying.
Oh, absolutely. But Shanaka and Hasaranga, as all-rounders at best, are not the type of batsmen. They're not opening batsmen who have patience. They're natural stroke makers. That's where their runs come from. So whether we expect them to show the great grit and stickability that we'd expect of a frontline batsman, I don't know.
They need Marvin Atipati to come out of retirement.
And Nokia bowls this one a lot close to the legs and chipped off the legs to a backward square leg region for 1 run. And Sri Lanka on 184 for 6.
Don't forget, Marvin Atipati was a great batsman for Sri Lanka at a time when they were under pressure. They were still, apart from Bangladesh, the newbies in the test scene. And they were losing match after match, and they needed someone to stick around. But they've become better since then, and they deserve their place on the test table, and they've developed their own style.
Nokia from over the wickets, and this one a bit wide, and Hasaranga flashed at it and completely misses the bat into Quinton de Kock's hands for no run.
Now that is an example of the kind of player I'm saying Hasaranga and Shanaka are. They're middle order, late middle order players. They are stroke makers. They're not going to stick around. Their strike rate so far might not be great, but their natural strike rate is high.
Yeah, I know. As this one bowled on the stumps and blocked by Hasaranga for no run. And that's the end of the over. Sri Lanka sitting on 184 for 6.
On WhatsApp, Simon Gear says to me, Ravi must be the world's worst poker player. Oh, sod off, Simon. Sod off. That's because I revealed, as it were, the two catches that happened before Chepo had the time to see them. So I'm sorry about
I'm sorry.
that.
Either you're a bad poker player or I'm a very slow one. I believe in slow and steady wins the race as Ngidi comes into the attack here. And this one just blocked onto the leg side for no run.
Look, it's still your fault, Simon. All of it.
So Sri Lanka basically dead and buried in this test match? Is this game basically over? And if it is over, what do you do as the batting side? What's the plan? Are they thinking of the Test Championship?
I still think you're being very optimistic, Chepo.
Yes,
that they have a plan. Assuming they have a plan.
And this one chipped to the leg side. This was a full ball chipped and played to the leg side by Shanaka into the mid-on region for 4. Yes, and that is 188 for 6. So you think it's just, let's just see what happens, go out there, have a bat, the game's over.
Yeah, exactly. That's all that Sri Lanka can be thinking. Sorry, Ted.
They may have a personal interest involved. They're both new to Test cricket, relatively new on Chanaka. So they both want to say, well, we belong here. So we want to score runs. We belong in this 11. So now they may want to think they want to actually score runs. So you would think they wouldn't want to throw the wickets away. But I suspect one of them for too long.
Yeah, I agree with you. Otto Simon
coming from wickets into Quinton de Kock's hands, no run.
Otto Simon on Twitter agrees with me. He says, "At last we have some right-handers to bowl to. Come on, Protea Fire. Hashtag SA versus SL." Well, we'll get some more of Otto's enthusiasm after the first hour because he'll be on.
That's pure cricket enthusiasm, that man. It's lovely to see.
Well, yours is not any worse, Chepo. I love.
Stop it, Ravi. And this one, Ngidi coming from over the wickets, blocked by Hasaranga into the offside for a quick single.
We notice that with the South Africans having right-handers to bat to, the run rate has gone right down. I don't know if you've noticed that, but suddenly we've been having maiden overs and overs with just 1 run scored in it. That's why I said this was Lungi Ngidi's home ground. I meant that was his comfort zone, where he's bowling to the right-handers outside the off stump and troubling them.
And also fresh batsmen as well. Fresh batsmen that aren't well set and playing strokes like the likes of Dikwela and Karunaratne. And this one blocked to the leg side for no run.
Absolutely, of course. The newness of the batsman matters because they want to get their eye in. But I also think they're natural stroke makers and they're getting frustrated. If Ngidi can keep that line outside off stump, though I don't know how much longer he'll be able to bowl for. He must have done 5 or 6 overs already by now, this morning.
This is his 5th, yeah.
How many overs has he bowled this morning?
This is his this is his 5th. He's about to wrap up his 5th. He's bowling his final ball here, and this one on the stumps blocked by Hasaranga for no run. Sri Lanka sitting on 189 for 6 at the end of the over. Shanaka on 7 of 13, Hasaranga 1 of 14, and they lead by 44.
That's it. South Africa doomed 44. They'll never make that total.
Yeah, no, with the top run scorer on our side, hey, yo, he just has too many runs. He's tired of making runs now. Yeah, I see the vision, Ravi.
Come on. If India can collapse at 36, South Africa can definitely achieve a collapse at less than 44.
You know what? If we're talking about anything can happen here, why? Yeah, no, I was about to say, why can't Sri Lanka have a massive comeback? And you know what? It's just too late now.
They
And
can,
Nokia's still in the attack here. So it's as you say.
they can, but the odds on that are just happen to be very, very slim. They can.
Yes.
This one
These
left
two-
by Shanaka for no run.
The next four could put on 100, but the chances of that happening are very, very slim. They're not naught, but they're very, very slim.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
But they could put it on, and even Ngidi in his interview admitted that South Africa don't want to chase more than 100 on the fourth
100%.
inning.
And Nokia steaming in, and this one bounced, but wide on offside and into Quinton de Cock's hands for no run. Quinton de Cap. No.
Yeah, let's not call him the cack. He's not that bad.
You know what? I've been criticizing Quinton de Kock ever since he got the captain's armband, but after that diving catch to the leg side yesterday, yeah, the man's back. He's still got that quality behind the stumps that I thought he lost. It's good to see that. As
Why
comes in,
would you criticize anybody for being captain? It's
not
a job I've won.
Yeah, it's not criticizing him for being captain. It's more that I didn't think that he was the right person to captain, and it wasn't the right time. Just because you don't want too much on his mind. I mean, his role in the side is already. He has the gloves behind the stumps. He's normally, because of the collapses from the middle order, we normally rely on him getting a whole lot of runs. So I just don't want too much pressure on him, because then the whole team collapses. And this one was very wide on the offside. But yeah, Quinton de Kock catches that comfortably for no run. And that's my point. It's just you don't want too much pressure on the young man. But yeah, it's proved that he's okay under this pressure.
I've been fully in agreement with that triple. I was not happy when he was made captain, not because for the same reasons that you point out. I'll just wait for this delivery.
Nokia coming in from over the wicket to the right hand, and this one left and caught by Quinton, the captain.
But I've been quietly surprised and very pleased that when Ngidi is bowling, he's got 4 slips. And he's been ultra attacking throughout, even when the partnership between Kanaratne and Dikwela was happening. He was putting in attacking fields. It's been good to see.
Oh dear.
And this one bowled to the body and played to a square fine leg for 1 run. Sri Lanka sitting on 190 for 6 after Nokia's over has just finished, the lead of 45.
Otto Simon doesn't like my saying that South Africa don't want to chase more than 100. He said some gamesmanship there, I think, on Twitter. And he also says that Sri Lanka can give themselves time at the crease and see how things play out. They can, but will they? I'm not sure if they have the batsmen to back time. That's just my feeling, but they can always prove me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it would be really heroic if they played all the way until day 5, and then the rain saves them. If they just play for the rain, that would be incredible. That's like Graham Smith coming out with his hand broken and batting. That day showed me that draws are also wins sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or as old people like me remember the legend of Hanif Mohammed batting for 4th innings for his 300. to save Pakistan that test, but you won't even know about it.
No, Vian Mulder comes into the attack from the golf course end, and this one blocked by Shanaka onto the offside for no run. Yeah. How far back was that actually? Who?
1950s. No, I'm not that old actually, but it was a legend for us when I was growing up.
Hectic.
Who's willing to bet some money that Maharaj should be at the other end?
Oh, no. What about Sipamla? What about
I would
Sipamla?
not bet any money. I would not bet any money. This one blocked by Shanaka for no run. No. You just want to take my money, Tim. I'm not going to. That's not going to happen. Why would you bring in Maharaj now, dude? Leave my money alone.
Leave my money alone. There is one factor that might make them consider Maharaj, and that is that the ball is 50 overs old, and he might get more purchase out of it, and might get it to do more than the.
And this one guided to the offside, picked up by Gully for no run.
Than the paceman. But Vian Mulder is South Africa's go-to bowler right now, so why not? Who knows, he could
Golden
get
boy with golden hair. Yes, indeed. Our bright boy. Just line length consistency. It seems so simple, but he seems to be the only one that's getting it right consistently.
It's true, but if you look at it, there is almost an equation. Andrik Nortje is the most wayward, Vian Mulder is the most controlled. But Nortje is the fastest. Vian Mulder is some 20 kilometers an hour slower than him, often. And he's not striving for pace, he's just going for control. I know Simon has problems with his injuries and...
and this one lobbed into the air, into the mid-on region, I think. Was it caught? Yeah, it was caught by
a catch.
Yes, it is. I didn't see it in the air at all. But look at that. Shanaka has been caught.
Sorry, Seppo, you're great.
On 8 of 24 and the catch by Sipamla. This one didn't lob as high. Can you guys hear me? Give me a moment.
Yes. Seppo, you need to play with your mic again.
Do something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sonic is the man who's been removed by Vian Mulder.
Yes, so now Sri Lankan wickets are coming. Not thick and fast, but they are coming. I still don't think it'll be over by lunch, but it's looking like the end might be closer now because Sri Lanka's lead is, a mere 50 runs, less than 50 runs. And South Africa, funnily enough, have had all 3 wickets from the bounce, from the ball going up into high steeping catches. Both the first 2 off the top edge of the bat, and this one as well. It seems as though the Sri Lankans are troubled by the slight difference in bounce, and they're not able to deal with it, at least not the middle order, which is unfortunate. And so we have Dushmantha Tamira coming in. His average is 6.5, so that it does not engender confidence, I have to say, in Sri Lanka's fight-back ability.
All right, guys, let's use the wicket, I think, as an opportunity to swap over the shift as well.
Yeah.
So thank you very much to Tim and to Chepo. Well done, guys. And
thanks, guys.
Onto the stream. Ravi, how are you doing? Are you able to do another hour?
I'm fine. I can last until whatever it takes. Don't worry about me.
Love to hear that. Otto, we have been adjusted to Chepo's feed. Well, Tim and I
Yes.
were, but Ravi likes to do his own thing.
I'm
is that
seeing
more or less what-
Chamera's stats. Yeah, I'm also on the Now feed, on the DSTV Now feed.
okay.
Chamera's
So,
stats have disappeared, and he's taking guard now. Somebody's
All right,
taking guard now. Seeing a
Can
replay
I-
of yeah.
can I ask you then to do ball by ball until such time as I can figure
Yes.
out exactly where I have to pause you for?
Until such
Okay.
time as Simon gets so impatient he decides to take over.
Pretty much.
Until then, Otto, it's yours.
I spoke more than enough yesterday, so I have no particular desire to hear the sound of my own voice today as well.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
my connection might dip again as we see Vian Mulder coming in to Chamera, who's new to the wicket. Over the wicket he goes, and Chamera defends on off stump and middle line there for no run. 190 for 7, and the lead is 45. That is the end of Mulder's 12th over. He's 1 for 43. Hasaranga is on 1 off 14. He's going to face the first ball of the next over. Chamera on 0 off 1. Yes, how are you, Ravi?
I'm fine, Otto. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
How's the lovely Carla?
She's doing very well, thank you. Now, trying to keep the kids busy and sorting out their stationery needs for the anticipated start of the school year. So we'll see if we have to do some homeschooling again this year.
Yeah, stationery needs at the
my-
moment are pajamas and a pencil, basically.
Yes, I was wondering. You must be having the same online schooling and things like that happening in South Africa as it's happening in India.
Our
and
school,
England and-
yeah, our school distribute learning material. My kids are 10 and 11, going
Right.
on 11 and 12 this year. So they have been electronically given stuff that we need to print out. So I've
Right.
been buying lots of paper and ink for my printer as Nortje comes in for his 18th over. Around the wicket to Hasaranga. Bouncer! Outside leg stump, too far away from Quinton de Kock, and a quick 4 there for Sri Lanka, courtesy of Anrich Nortje. He's conceded
Right.
62 runs now with 2 wickets.
Yeah, I mean
194 for 7.
it's a real concern. So we got notification, Ravi, from Central Gauteng anyway, that all amateur cricket is now suspended. And in fact, there were some very, very major local festivals around this sort of time of year.
Nortje in again. This time Fuller on just outside leg stump, blocked by Hasaranga for no run. 194 for 7.
So all amateur cricket suspended, all inter club cricket anyway, or inter group. So you can play internally within your club, but you can't play other clubs. So that's been the first sort of obvious impact, and then all schools have delayed their start for a couple of weeks.
Nortje
this
in
is
again
because of
over leg stump for no run.
This is because of the new variant that has been discovered in South Africa.
Yes, I mean we've now got more daily infections than we ever had during the peak in July, and I mean I'm particularly concerned because at the very first lockdown, we were due to provide all of the commentary services to the Australian Women's Tour of South Africa.
Right.
And we'd been appointed, and then the whole thing was cancelled like the next day.
Nortje into Hasaranga, defends this off his body to square leg, and there's no run. This is Nortje coming around the wicket right-handed to the right-handed Hasaranga. So trying to get that ball to pop to short square leg, who's not that short, but he's also got a point catching. He's got a extra cover who's moving out to a more traditional extra cover, might be going onto the boundary. Sorry, no, I've got it the wrong way around. Square leg is now going out to the boundary. He's got 3 slips, a gully, short, a fine leg on the boundary, and a third man on the boundary. So maybe he's going to abandon the body line now as he's coming in again right-handed around the wicket to Hasaranga. This one is fended off his pads. down backward square leg where it will be fielded by Mulder, they take a single.
Thought it was very, very interesting as they dropped Mulder back to deep square leg there. That occasioned the umpire, who I think was Adrian Holstock, to decide to go and stand on the offside. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Now, I mean, I've seen umpires choose to do that based on where the sun is. You know, sometimes when the sun is just low in the horizon, then you prefer to just go and stand on the offside, and you just check it. The protocol is you check it with the fielding umpire, with the fielding captain, and they'll always say yeah, because there's no point in irritating the umpires more than necessary.
Yeah.
But that seemed to be
he's coming back to short. He's coming back to short forward square leg, and they've got a silly mid-off silly mid-off there as well. 4 slips now in a gully, 3 slips in a gully.
That's for
another
Chamira.
Bouncer through to, this is for Chamira, for the new batsman, another bouncer through to the keeper for no run. That's the end of the over, 195 for 7. Yes.
But so in fact, it was Maria Erasmus who ran across the point there. So that's the first time that I've seen an umpire react to potential tactics from a team and realize that, okay, obviously if he's going to be at square leg, he's going to be in the firing line. And maybe it's just easier for everyone that he gets out of the way. I thought that was very, very interesting umpire, fieldcraft.
Yes, well, you'd expect that from Marais Erasmus. He's one of the most experienced umpires in the world today and one of the most respected. So, he's definitely my poker face. Sorry.
You really are appalling at this, aren't you? Maybe we should get you to focus on tweets.
Oh dear.
Mulder is coming in again to Chamira. No, that would be Hasaranga. He fends this off his pads to short mid wicket, and that looks like it's been dropped by Keshav Maharaj. Yes, it was Hasaranga. We'll see exactly where that ball went and what happened there. Mulder bowls this one over the wicket. He fends this off and it bounced just short of Keshav Maharaj. So maybe he rues just taking half a step more towards the batter there. It went to his right, but if he'd been a little bit forward, he would have maybe had a chance to catch that. Mulder in again. This one is cut late by Hasaranga. It rolls down to the third man boundary and it's stopped there by Ngidi. 197 now for 7 as they take 2 runs there down to third man. Lead is now gone past 50. It's 52 now.
There was a shot there of Temba Bavuma looking rueful as well, because that's the position that he would normally be patrolling. So I'm not quite sure what Keshav was doing there.
Keshav Maharaj is usually hidden in the field, isn't he?
He's not a sort of 1980s fast bowler style muppet in the field, but he's certainly not one of South Africa's gun fielders necessarily. Took a very, very good catch earlier on in this innings, we must remember.
Mulder to Hasaranga. This one is full and on leg stump line, chipped off his feet there by Hasaranga neatly through deep mid wicket for a 4. This time it went past Maharaj on the ground. No chance for him to cut that off. And Supamla gave chase but wasn't able to haul it in. Supamla running from mid on. No chance there. So 4 runs to Sri Lanka's total. And I think that takes them past the 200 mark. That'll be 201, I think. We'll check. Yes, 201 for 7. Mulder in again. Outside off stump. Much better line to Hasaranga. Blocked down into the pitch for no run. Lead is now 56.
I've been excited by Mulder in this test. Hey, I really think he's looking like he's coming of age somewhat, and it's still very, very early days. What, only his third test? Yeah, he had 1 before the series.
Yeah, Armchair Cricket podcast tweets in. Given their situation, Hasaranga would do well to accumulate the runs that are on offer without going on all guns blazing. Can't see 9, 10 and Jack hanging around too long given the bowling. Even 100, 110 target can make it interesting. I'd say even a 50 or 60 target could make it interesting. Probably won't, but could.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, at this stage, you just go as deep as you possibly can. I mean, I remember learning a strong lesson from watching New Zealand once, where they were in a hopeless situation, admittedly in an ODI. But they just battered and battered and battered and sort of kept themselves more or less in touch and landed up winning against South Africa. And my running group then took that sort of to heart as, if you're having a bad day, just try and get yourself as deep into the race as you possibly can. And that's exactly what these guys should do. There's, don't give up. Just keep going. And your miracles do happen.
Oh, well, what's happened to Otto? You're going to have to take over.
Oh, good point. He's disappeared. Okay, I don't know. I see that. Let's add him back to the stream. He was so quiet that I assumed we were watching reviews, not reviews, replays. Yeah. So the score is 204 for 7. Chimera is there on 0. Yes. Hasaranga is on 11. We actually saw some overthrows there at one point. Mulder finishes that over on 1 for 52, and Otto, I think, is back.
Yes. Hopefully that is the dip. The daily dip that my connection chooses to enforce. 204 for 7 indeed. Lead is 59. Hasaranga has gone to double figures, 11 of 24. Chimera still on 0, and Hasaranga will retain the strike as we see Keshav Maharaj leaving the field. And we'll try and find out.
I would have thought. He's decided, if you're not going to let me play, I'm going to go home. My mom has come to fetch me.
I said I wanted to bowl.
I mean, he really has. He's taken that one catch, and that's about it. I hope he didn't hurt his hand in that fielding attempt we saw in the last over.
Tim tells us
he looked a bit winded as he came down.
Sorry, on our WhatsApp group, Tim, who predicted the match would be over by lunch, now says, "Tell South Africa to bowl badly so I can be on again on my next shift."
Nortje now around the wicket to Hasaranga. He fends this to extra cover for no run. 2 slips, gully, and leg slip or leg gully.
I have to tell you, you have to invoke the god Simon, because if anything bad happens to South Africa, it's Simon's fault. And we know this.
Yeah, Tim is next on at 20-2. I'm pretty sure there'll still be some cricket then. Unless they really do roll these guys quickly now. But I get the sense that we will still see Sri Lanka batting, or maybe to lunch. Actually, I don't know. The thing with Sri Lanka is you lose 1, you lose 2 often.
Nortje again around the wicket, short, and ducked underneath it by Hasaranga for no run. 204 for 7.
I saw an image earlier of Baf du Plessis patting someone on the shoulder with his right hand, and every one of his fingers was taped up.
That's standard for Faf.
Brittle fingers than anybody, or does he bat longer and get hit on the hand more, or what?
A bit of everything, because I mean, he's actually got a bespoke glove that he made. I mean, obviously took a standard glove, and then he got a fiberglass covering made for it, because he broke one of his fingers quite badly while he was batting. I think we're just looking at replays of Maharaj here, and the implication seems to be that he caught one on the end of a finger as a throw was coming in for overthrows. So he's going to go and tape it onto his finger.
That last delivery by Nortje was just helped off his pads by Hasaranga. And I'll check for you now how many runs they scored. Yeah, so trying to understand why Keshav left the field, and is signaling either that he needs his index finger taped, or he's showing the substitute gesture. And this one again, short and ducked underneath it by Chimera this time. So they only took a single, 205 for 7, and there is no run. So for Chimera, they've got the short fielders in, the silly mid-off, and the short square leg.
Chimera very nearly periscoped that ball to the slips, didn't he?
Yeah. Is Nortje continued his spell? He hasn't been.
Yes. Well, he's got a few balls left in this over. We'll see after this over if he's going to be substituted or changed. And Nortje in again this time. Pitches on middle, round the wicket to the right-hander, and it's defended by Chimera out to point for no run.
The 12th man is Sadal Ervia, who is one of the up-and-coming batsmen in South Africa. Hasn't yet had a cap for South Africa at any level, I don't think. Well, certainly not at the senior level. But he's one of these guys that has certainly been. There's been a lot of rumblings wanting to get him into the South African top or middle order.
Yeah, we do have some competition for places there as well. Nortje around the wicket, and this line outside off stump going across the right-hander through to Quinton de Kock for no run. 205 for 7. End of Nortje's 19th over. He's 2 for 64. And Chamira has faced 6 for no run. Hasaranga 12 of 27. The lead is exactly 60 runs.
Erve a little bit older than I realized he is. He's 31 already, and so same sort of age as Rassie van der Dussen. Probably went through the same age group level stuff, and first class average of 38 after 87 matches, and bowls a tiny bit. He's taken 7 wickets for 410.
I don't know if there should be competition for place in the South African batting lineup. The competition that there is really in the bowling, isn't there?
Yes, I mean, I think anyone who really scores a lot of runs could pressure them with their way into the batting lineup at the moment, because there are definite weak spots. The bowling lineup, you really have to be an exceptional talent to break into the South African side now.
Where are the weak spots in the batting lineup? Do you really want to replace Markram?
I think it's more a question of looking over your shoulder and knowing that even though you Sepamla over the wicket to Hasaranga, no run, defended outside off into the covers. I think it's more a question of making the incumbents aware that their places are not guaranteed, and if they do slip a bit in their form or they get injured, then I think it's it's healthy to have that kind of pressure to say that you're not selected on your reputation, because there was a while where we had these superstars in our team, and if you were an opening batsman, good luck. You'd better go play overseas or something, or just hope that somebody gets injured, because there's no way you're going to replace Graham Smith or Hashim Amla or Jock Cullis, And again, is Sepamla defended off the stumps by Hasaranga, no run to the onside.
Yeah, actually, to be honest, I think Ravi makes a very, very good point, because looking at the stats here, I was about to say that Dean Elgar's spot is safe, but Aiden possibly isn't. But Aiden's form since November has been absolutely astonishing. In first-class cricket, since the 23rd of November, he scored in consecutive innings 121, 149, 113, 75, and then 68 in the last test match. So that is really top form.
Apart from that, given Rassie van der Dussen is being given time to establish himself, and has established himself very well.
This one by Sepamla, off a thickish outside edge, a drive by Hasaranga, and it goes down to third man for 4.
Yeah, that could have gone anywhere, actually. Yeah, but carry on.
So you don't want to replace Bach or Quinton or Temba. So whose place is in jeopardy?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say that Aiden's was, but he clearly isn't. I mean, he is clearly in fantastic form at the moment, and I was incorrect about that. Dean certainly not. Rassie, I don't think is at all at the moment. Temba, Temba has his own things going on in terms of transformation and so on, which is helping to keep him in the team. But also putting additional pressure on him, there's no doubt whatsoever. So that's a difficult situation. So yeah, I would actually agree that we probably have an incredibly stable batting top order. Well, I suspect that a guy like Sarel is probably in the squad precisely to just get him, in and around, but also because of the bubble.
Sepamla outside off stump line, coming into the batsman and beating the outside edge. Hasaranga is on 16 of 31. The score is 209 for 7. That was an excellent delivery by Lutho Sepamla. Nice seam position, and Hasaranga just played inside it as it went over off stump. So Sepamla looks like he deceived the batsman with some movement off the wicket there. Great stuff by Sepamla.
Lutho Sepamla has actually replaced Rian Mulder, who only bowled about 3 overs and took a wicket. Whereas Andrik Nortje is on a spell of 8 overs so far.
Sepamla takes the off stump of Hasaranga with almost a similar delivery, a little bit fuller, deception off the pitch, enough to beat the outside edge of Hasaranga. As again he plays inside it. Hasaranga departs 16 runs off 32 balls, 209 for 8. The lead is 64. Sepamla's first wicket of this innings.
I think he actually went between bat and pad over there.
Let's check the replay. Yes, you are correct. Middle and off. This time Hasaranga played across the line a little bit, but beat the inside edge. So maybe he was playing for the movement away off the pitch, and Sepamla brought it back in. Thanks, Ravi. Thanks for spotting that. And Sepamla punches the air. Great stuff by Luther Sepamla. So a wicket in every innings that he's bowled so far in his career, which is nice to see.
Has indeed, yeah. Let me give you the numbers there with Hasaranga out for 16. He faced 32 balls. He was bowled by Luther Sepamla, and that takes Sepamla's figures to 1 for 38 of 8.5 overs now.
So I guess Shamira hasn't scored a run yet.
Yes.
So
that should be the Sri Lankans done and dusted, and it'll be nice to see how quickly South Africa can mop up the tail now. Vishwa Fernando is in next, and let's see who
the batting average.
The last batsman in will be Asita Fernando, averaging 7 is Vishwa. You say?
Yeah. Simon, you want to update the scorecard?
I have been trying to do it every now and again. It comes and goes. There we go. Sorry.
No, it's gone. Sorry.
No, don't worry. I've sorted it out. There we go. What happened is the last time that I tested, I switched it off. I didn't switch it back on again. And I'd been trying to sort out my feed and managed to miss that wicket entirely.
Oh dear.
Well, it was a nice delivery by Sepamla. Once again, he's showing his potential, showing why he got selected. He's bowling now to the new batsman, Vishwa Fernando, who gets a streaky inside half of the bat shot down to square leg. He's also right-handed, and they take a single. That means that Vishwa Fernando will retain the strike. The lead is 65. The score is 210 for 8. So who knows? Maybe Asita Fernando is also hiding some batting skills that nobody knows about. But if I remember looking at his figures, he is a true number 11, judging by his first-class numbers. And the batting side, I could see that he's got a definite a stack of numbers behind him for bowling.
Yeah,
Tamira and Vishwa Fernando need to just frustrate South Africa as much as they can, and South African bowlers need to show ruthless efficiency and remove them as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so Asita Fernando's last few scores at first-class level didn't bat 12, 0, 12, 0 not out, didn't bat. So
okay, so
so he either scores 12 or nothing.
Not much there. Ngidi has replaced Nortje, his first delivery over the wicket to the right-handed. That would be Vishwa Fernando. Was just defended for no run.
And Umpo writes into us saying that's a beautiful wicket from Luto, getting him in with the in-swing and straight through the gate. It was straight through the gate. I'm not sure if it was in-swing or if it was off the seam, but he definitely bowled a peach of a delivery there.
Yeah, Ngidi attacking the stumps. Vishwa Fernando gets what looked to me like a bit of an inside edge onto his pads, and no appeal, no run, 210 for 8. Yeah, it was the variation, because he was moving it away, and then the one carried on with the line onto the stumps instead of straightening, and I think that's why Hasaranga was playing for the movement away again and played around it and went through the gate. So good build up to that wicket by Sepamla as well.
Yes, Sepamla's living up to his potential now, which is lovely to see, because South Africa have stocks of bowling.
gets the outside edge. They appeal. Adrian Holtstock says, "Yes, you did, sir." And Vishwa Fernando is out for 1 off 3 deliveries. That is a fifer for Lungi Ngidi and 9 wickets down for Sri Lanka. The decision has been reviewed by the batsman. 210 for 9. On-field decision is out. So that caught the outside edge as Vishwa Fernando defended inside the line.
I don't know if it caught the edge.
Let's see here. The umpire did give it out. So it came in on off-stump line. Oh, yes, you're right, Ravi. It looks like it might have
a long way, isn't it? Yeah.
Pocket, and it doesn't look like there was any bat there. No, there's a clear gap between bat and pad. So good work there by Vishwa Fernando as we see the ball hitting the top of his thigh guard on his back leg as the right-handed batsman. His right leg has also got a thigh guard. Which the ball just clipped the top of that underneath his pants there, and that went through to Quinton. So that decision will be rescinded, and Vishwa Fernando lives to fight another day. 210 for 8.
I wanted Lungi Ngidi to get his fifer. I really wanted him to get his fifer. He deserves it.
He absolutely does. Yeah, no, he's bowled very, very. He's led the attack very, very well. I think he's taken that mantle of senior player amongst the group of juniors really to heart.
The funny thing is, as I discovered, Anrich Yorkia
4 slips
has played one more test than him.
Vishwa Fernando defends this off his middle stump for no run.
Yeah, I mean, it is strange because I definitely think of Ngidi as having been around a lot longer than Anrich Nortje. I think the difference is Ngidi has played some white ball cricket for South Africa, whereas Nortje really only started playing any cricket at all for South Africa with the tests that he debuted on, and then played subsequently a little bit of white ball.
Yes, absolutely.
5 slips
That's
now.
what I think it is.
5 slips and a gully in for Lungi Ngidi to Vishwa Fernando, who's on 1 or 5. 210 for 8 is the score as he comes in now past the umpire and on the stumps down the leg side, pitched on the stump line and down the leg side for no run.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got 5 slips and then you spray it down the leg side, that's a poor show, I'm afraid. Come on, Ravi.
And Ravi Reddy was also fooled by that appeal, and he says, and that's 5 wickets for Ngidi. Well done, sir. Is what I would have said if the ball didn't clip the pocket. That was so disappointing. But it's good to see Sipamla from one end and Ngidi from the other, and they're troubling the batsmen. They are tail-enders, but even so, it's good to see it.
Ngidi in again, and he is a bit wider outside off stump, and defensive leave shot by Chamira. By Vishwa Fernando. That's the end of Lungi Ngidi's 15th over, and he's got 4 wickets so far. 56 overs gone in the innings, 13 extras, 210 for 8.
Yeah, to be honest, Vishwa Fernando didn't know much about that over at all from Lungi Ngidi.
Yeah.
He basically just stood there and hung his bat out at everything, and it was up to Ngidi to try and hit the edge. And Ngidi couldn't get his line quite right. So I think it's just a matter of time before they manage to remove Fernando.
And Chamira has gone 8 balls without scoring. Or 7 balls without scoring.
Yes, 7 balls now. Chamira plays a weak defensive shot outside off stump, and Sipamla beats the outside edge. Sipamla is bowling his 10th over now. He's 1 for 39. Let's see what this one did. It was on a good length, or just short of, past the shoulder of the bat, through to Quinton de Kock, no run.
It was. It was a very, very mild appeal there, to the point where they did actually put the DRS appeal on, a counter on, but I mean, no one was going to take it.
Mm-hmm. Sipamla in again to Chamira. This one is defended solidly behind the line to extra cover, no run. There's 5 slips. And a backward point, I would say, or was that a gully? Gully or backward point there?
Yeah, there's actually some very weird. So there's 4 slips in a line, and then the 5th slip or gully is a couple of steps back from
From
who
fourth
is it?
slip.
It's Aidan Markram. He's in the same angle from the bat as a fifth slip, but he's
Yes.
in terms of distance, he's as far away as a gully. And then there is actually a gully there as well. I've never ever seen that for fifth
Okay.
slip. It's a very strange position.
Jamira
Also,
facing
the slip
Sepamla
on a
over the
straight
wicket
line rather than
on off stump, and there's no run. Carry on. Sorry, Ravi.
No, the four slips are in a straight line rather than an arc. You'd expect them to be in an arc, really, but they're actually almost like a ruler line at 45 degrees, standing together. But clearly, South Africa must have a feeling that there is something in this.
And then what do you think Aidan's doing, standing 2 steps back from fifth? He's now taking a couple of steps to his right. There's a lot of discussion about where he's standing. So I think they're expecting the splice sort of loop for him.
Could be Sepamla into Chamira, and this one takes the edge. They're appealing for an edge, caught behind. They're very animated, very excited, and all nods of the head and high fives already, as they've already referred the decision up for review. 210 for 8. The lead is 65, and
yeah, I mean, Quinton was absolutely certain about this, wasn't he? He was, and they didn't hesitate at all. In fact, they had that slightly incredulous second appeal, where you wonder whether it's possible that the umpire didn't hear you the first time.
So let's see here. The replay comes in now. Sepamla puts this one on that fourth stump line, and the bat is wafted at the ball. So no chance of a sound coming from the protective gear this time. And we see a definite nick there, as Ultra Edge shows us. As the ball passes the bat, there's a spike in the sound, and that decision will be changed to out.
Yes.
That's it. So 9 down are Sri Lanka, 210 for 9, and Sepamla's second wicket with some excellent bowling, keeping it in the correct area there, or just being patient with his line and length and getting the reward. Good stuff by Sepamla.
Absolutely. Sepamla was brilliant stuff by Sepamla in this over.
Very interested to see some quite sort of cheerful banter between Lungi Ngidi and Maria Erasmus there. Lungi saying, "Did you not hear that?" And Maria Erasmus shrugging his shoulders. Good to see that they can be chilled about it. I suppose it's easy to be chilled about it when the opposition are 9 down and lead by just 65. But it's never nice to get one wrong as an umpire.
No, and I think the first 2 mistakes we've seen from these 2 in the series, as far as I can recall, maybe there was one more decision that was overturned, but 2 in a row here from both umpires, rare in the series.
No, the umpiring's been of a decent standard, actually.
Yes.
I think, the one, although it survived the review, I think Bjorn Mulder's LBW was desperately unlucky. But yes, apart from that, generally it's been good.
Yeah, that was umpire's call.
Good umpiring. The point you make about good umpiring is particularly valid because they're both South African umpires, aren't they? Because of the bubble and COVID.
Sepamla into Asita Fernando. He tries to play a drive shot, and it goes past his outside edge, and it looks like a no ball has also been signalled. For overstepping, I would assume.
Luckily, there's no free hit.
Asita Fernando. No free hits in proper cricket. So Asita Fernando not inspiring a lot of confidence for his team with that fishing, just hanging his bat out to dry, literally outside off stump. As we see Sepamla coming in again. Right arm over the wicket to Asita Fernando, targeting the stumps and hitting it. Luto Sepamla ends the innings with an off-stump bowled. Asita Fernando, out for naught off his second ball, faced 211, all out. South Africa needs 67 runs to win this test. So good work by Sri Lanka to get South Africa to bat again. But surely now it's just a matter of time before. Now I'd send Quinny in to open and get it over with.
No. I'm just thinking, in the South African bubble, do you think Lungi Ngidi will put a horse's head in Sapamla's bed tonight? He cheated him off his diaper. He cheated him off his diaper, damn it.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's, for the first time today, we've seen him not grinning actually, and now he gives Luto a bit of a smile.
It will be some cow knuckles and some chicken bones from the Sangoma, Ravi. It won't be the American mobster style thing. It will be more traditional, I think. Yes. But you bury certain bones underneath someone's backyard and all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah.
Ravi, do you have that sort of thing on the subcontinent as well? In South African football teams in particular, they have a position called Director of Special Projects, and he's the guy who's in charge of the traditional muti, the traditional medicine related to. In fact, it's not even traditional medicine; it's the witchcraft. Related to luck and everything else, and it's his job to bury things under the goalmouth and I don't know, put curses on the opposing players and all of that sort of thing. Yeah, it's a formal thing in South African football.
Wow.
Yes.
No, I can't appreciate that. How it could be in South Africa, because you have so many tribes. How do you know which tribes' rituals you're following?
Yeah, very good question. And I think all of these things evaporate very quickly with even a slight crack of daylight on them. I mean, I suppose that there are some teams that are definitely belonging to one
universal.
culture. I mean, Amazulu, for example, very much a Zulu team. The various Polokwane teams will be, very strongly Venda, and so it goes. But the big teams, like Pirates and Chiefs, no, they belong to all South Africa.
Well, and they'll probably also take turns between the different tribes or nations. I should rather say, because the nations are also divided into tribes.
Represent all of them. How can one director represent all of them?
I have no idea. We'll have to ask.
Whichever one you represent is the right one, and that's just finishing up.
But I have to mention that our traditional healers are consulted by our Department of Health, so they are officially recognized by the government as well.
Yeah, we've got to be a little careful. There's two different things going on there. There's the traditional healers, which are more holistic medicine and that sort of thing. And then there's the out and out witchcraft guys who are a completely different story. But look, I mean, it happens. So I mean, we had a huge scandal when I was still working for the national broadcaster. That one of our newsreaders went and visited a witch doctor, and he said, "Oh, that's interesting. One of your colleagues was here last week buying a curse against you." And it became a massive HR issue that someone junior had taken a curse out against one of the newsreaders, hoping to then take her spot when the curse sort of came into effect. And I mean, when I initially heard the story, my immediate reaction was to laugh about it. And I was told in no uncertain terms that this is a very, very serious thing and no laughing matter.
Yep.
Well, it's one of these things. People take it seriously, and you have to take it seriously because people are taking it seriously. But you and I, Simon, I don't know about you, Otto, can respect the culture, but for goodness sakes, we do science.
Yeah, I think you and I are absolutely on the same page here, Rob.
Well, Mahatma Gandhi said, understanding does not require cooperation.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
One of my favorite things.
Yeah, but my understanding is that Mahatma Gandhi has now become verboten in South Africa, and they're putting down statues of him. So I'm not sure if we should take him for our mentor in this matter.
Are we really? I didn't know that. I thought he was still very much.
He's one of my heroes.
You've pulled down a statue of Gandhi, I'm sure. Well, when I say you have, in South Africa, statues of Gandhi have been pulled down. At least one has.
I don't recall hearing about that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I will totally believe that you're you're right on this one. I'll be honest. The news media that I consume these days is almost exclusively American. I'm watching the carnage there with such fascination that I'm woefully behind on what's going on inside my own borders.
Yeah, I try and stay away from the news, and I get my news from Trevor Noah and Jimmy Kimmel and those guys. Yeah.
You bloody American! You bloody Americans! No, follow the British news media. They actually do report from more than just England. But yeah,
Yes.
no, Gandhi was notoriously or famously, at least early in his career, actually dead set against black South Africans. He called them Kafirs, and he didn't believe that they deserved the same consideration that Indians in South Africa did. So as far as he was concerned, Ravi Reddy would be bang up with him and eligible for equality, but maybe not Sefo and Mpo. That was what Gandhi's feeling was in about 1900. He changed his opinions later and became more open-minded. But in South Africa, he was actually mainly for the Indians in South Africa and not for the blacks at all. So that's why they pulled down his statue.
Okay, that's I knew sort of early history that he'd been a stretcher bearer at Spion Kop and those sort of he was working on the English side in the Anglo-Boer War. But it's actually I'm probably long overdue actually reading up a biography of Gandhi. It's a fascinating period in South African history. When things were very, very fluid, all over the subcontinent, and it's often weird to sort of read these things from a century's perspective, where you see how it all worked out, and I would hate to be held to my opinions, 35 years ago, and yet that's exactly how we often read history.
My opinions 25 years ago were probably different from my opinion today, and I'd hate to be judged for them. I absolutely agree with you. 35 years.
People need to be afforded the opportunity to change their minds. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, 35 years ago would make me 9. If you're judging me on my opinions as a 9-year-old, then they were probably a lot better than my opinions now, to be honest. It's amazing what being a taxpayer does to your opinions.
Yes.
Well, my only point about the Gandhi thing was that you asked about India and witch doctoring and traditional healing. Now, in India, there is traditional medicine. It's called Ayurveda. And I hesitate to call it medicine, but India has homeopathy and Ayurveda and all the rest of it. But as far as I'm aware, they don't enter the lives of professional teams. However, religion does. So no team would enter a new dressing room without calling on someone to perform a ritual, a puja, to bless it first. And you rarely see a new car in India. Someone buys a new car, one of the first things they do is have a ritual performed on it to provide protection for the passengers on the car. And the result of the ritual will be, you will see dangling from the front bonnet, between the two wheels, a little string composed of a lime and some green chilies. Literally, on almost every new car, you will see this lime and chilies, because that's supposed to provide protection. Now, whether it's highly religious or not, I don't know. But religion is, what's the word for it? Ubiquitous in India. You can't get away from it. The Hindu religion in particular, every tree on the corner of a street will maybe have a little statue of a god placed in it. People will bow to it or pray to it as they pass it. Literally.
Wow.
And
that's interesting.
That's in a city like Bombay. not even in the villages, where it's even worse in a sense.
Yeah, so
Or
South
would say
Africa is
more
an
prevalent.
interesting country in that we're ostensibly very secular, but the average South African is actually very surprisingly religious, which is why we stay away from things like national referenda, because we'd certainly find things steered very conservatively away from our constitution if we weren't careful. Right. Well, the two new batsmen are in, Dean Elgar and Aiden Markram. It looks like Vishwa Fernando to open the bowling, and I'm sure Otto will take us through these first couple of balls.
I am ready to go. Vishwa Fernando, 10 matches, 31 wickets, average of 32.32 and a strike rate of 52.3. And they've got Markram opening the batting for South Africa. He's got 3 slips and a gully in, a point, mid-off, deep mid-wicket catching almost, 4 pitch widths away, mid-on also, fine leg on the boundary. I can't see a third man. Maybe there's somebody at point. Markram faces Vishwa Fernando left hand over the wicket, and he cuts this through the extra cover region down to the boundary for 4. No, there's nobody on the cover boundary. So Markram opens South Africa's account with a 4.
Yeah, solid sort of shot that. It was a cut, but it went quite a long way in front of square. Almost a flat bat drive.
Yeah,
back foot punch. Yes.
How do they decide who opens the batting between Markram and Elgar, or any opening partnership? How do they decide who takes the first ball?
So I know with Gary Kirsten and who did he used to open with predominantly? I think it was Smith. They used to traditionally swap over each innings.
Vishwa Fernando now around the wicket, left-handed to Markram, and he fends this off the bat handle or the top of the bat there. His hand came off as he played that to the onside for a single, 5 without loss. South Africa needs 62 more to win.
And if I'm not
coming in and just a bit more bounce than he thought there would be off the top of the bat, and they take a quick single. Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, they've done exactly that here. I'm pretty sure Dean Elgar took the first ball in the first inning. Yeah.
Right.
So 3 slips and a gully in for Elgar. He faces Vishwa Fernando wide outside off stump through to the keeper for no run. Yes, Armchair Cricket podcast
says there seems to be a bit of echo sometimes when Simon Gear speaks, and I just heard a literal echo of your voice coming 1 second or 2 seconds after you spoke, Simon. So I can.
Sure, no problem. I'll try and sort that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only got the sound in my ears here. Vishwa Fernando in again to Elgar. This one pitches outside off and straightens past the outside edge for no run. That's 2 more balls to come in this over, 5 without loss.
Because
we'll ask, thanks for the feedback there, our Armchair Cricket podcast. We do appreciate you listening and appreciate any feedback on our broadcast. Good or bad, you're welcome to troll us as well. At least then we know you're listening. And it's producer Simon. This one on off stump and just played out to mid off. Sorry, for no run by Elgar, 5 without loss. Go ahead, Ravi.
We should get, now that we've got remote working going, we should get people like Armchair Cricket Podcast on the commentary.
Yes. If you are interested in joining our commentary team, please send your details to Simon at 1wsr.com. Get in touch and we will certainly give you a go. Vishwa Fernando to Elgar, he fends this outside off and they take a quick 2 runs to extra cover. No danger of a run out there, 7 without loss, and that's the end of the first over. Target is 67.
I'm only saying this because I actually did a podcast with Armchair Cricket Podcast, as it were, and I had a lovely time with them. So they're worth speaking to.
Please get in touch if you want to join the team, and especially if you are a women cricket fan, a female cricket fan. We do need to balance out our commentary team here with some ladies, and we've had during the women's matches that we've covered. We've had some of the ex-Protea women doing some commentary with us. I remember Danae van Niekerk was on there with us for a few sessions as well. So please do get in touch and please spread the word if you know any ladies who are cricket fans. As Asita Fernando goes to Aiden Markram, this one pitches outside off and goes towards first slip. So nice movement off the pitch again here by Asita Fernando. No run.
I need to add to what you said, Otto, is that if any women want to be represented, they should be represented not just for women's cricket, but for men's cricket as well. There's no reason why women can't commentate on men.
No reason at all. No, please get in touch with Simon as Asita Fernando goes again outside off stump and defended to point for no run.
Well, I must tell you, I'm very, very excited about a new commentator who's going to be joining us for the Pakistan Women's Series. Her name is Shanae Mayer. She played, she had a very successful career with Zimbabwe and is now playing club cricket in South Africa, plays for Gauteng as well, and has become a role model for a number of the young girls playing in Johannesburg.
Asita Fernando over the wicket to Markram, defended to cover, no run.
When you say a number of young girls, do you actually mean Amy? I'm just asking, Simon.
No, so one of the clubs near us, Randburg, is a particularly young club. They're mostly teenagers, and whereas Amy's club is a little bit older, and Amy's by miles the youngest at Wanderers. In fact, it's the club that's attached to the stadium is who Amy plays for.
Right.
And Asita Fernando over the wicket to Markram. This one coming in a little bit, inside half of the bat, back to the bowler, no run.
And the nature of women's cricket is that a lot of the international players still play club cricket. So you get, for example, Kirsty Thompson, who has been drafted into the Proteas for this Pakistan tour. She's Amy's club captain and is open to batting for Amy's team. And Shanae is an opening batsman for Randburg, but still is a sort of guiding light for these 15, 16, 17-year-old girls who play for Randburg. And she's a phenomenal player. I mean, you can see the gap between an international player and a club cricketer every time she plays. But she has...
Last one, Asita Fernando to Markram, defended, no run.
She is going to be joining our commentary team for that tour down to Durban. So we're very excited about it.
Yes, and I've also been asking my sister, who's also a great cricket fan, Asita Fernando to Markram off his pads to the mid-wicket region for no run. And I hope she's listening at the moment, working from home. So I'm trying to encourage her to also join the team. So we're working on a few. We're working on a few. But if you're out there listening, please get in touch, and we'll be more than happy to give you a go. Simon will handle the onboarding of the commentators.
Absolutely, it really is just a matter of coming in and joining us. I still have this echo of my voice in my headphones. I'm really sorry about it. There's nothing I can do about it, I don't think.
Don't worry, we only have 7 minutes more for lunch, and then you can sort it.
Apologies for that. Vishwa Fernando to Algar outside edge, past third slip down to the third man boundary for a 4. And South Africa's score moves on to 11 without loss. And that was a forward defensive by Algar there. The ball is nice seam presentation there off the, I would say outside half of the bat, but quite high up. But not a confident shot there by Algar. It looked like he tried to defend that.
I have to say, Otto, that we have been kind of ignoring the cricket, even though you have been steadfastly commentating ball by ball.
Fernando to Algar, and they take a single, 12 without loss. No, it's fine. I'll keep interrupting and keep the conversation going. Please, I'll just interrupt where I see
I just want to make
a
point that both the South African batsmen seem to have been surprised by balls that rose more than they expected throughout this innings so far.
Yes, and they're treating Asita Fernando with a mountain of respect. Vishwa Fernando to Markram, again bouncing higher than Markram expected, fended off to backward point, and there's no run. Smile on Markram's face, doing some gardening now. Yes, that's indeed the case, Ravi, and it's I think we didn't get to see which roller they used, but I know that the Sri Lankans were quite animated when the largest one wasn't used on the pitch. So maybe the heavy roller was deployed, and it's packed down the pitch a little bit for the start of this innings with the new ball moving around off the seam and giving some extra bounce. Fernando around the wicket to Markram, back foot drive through the covers. Let's see if the fielder will get this in hand. Yes, looks like Banuka there, and they take 2. And the score is 14 without loss. Markram on 7, Algar also on 7. And 2 balls to come from Vishwa Fernando. South Africa need 53 runs to win, and Sri Lanka need 10 wickets.
Doesn't the batting team get to decide which roller is used before they're in?
Yes. I was referring to yesterday when I saw replays of the Sri Lankan coaching staff motioning to the groundsman to get the big one on. This one by Markram played off his pads out to mid wicket. They take a lazy single, 15 without loss.
Because I don't think South Africa would have wanted to utilize the heavy roller today, would they? Because it can pack down a pitch, yes, but it can also break it up, unfortunately.
Yeah, I guess that it's been an hour and 40 minutes, 35 minutes since the start of play, where Sri Lanka certainly would have preferred the heavy one to try and flatten out the pitch. Fernando to Algar, who defends this to Gully, and there is no run. That's the end of the over, 15 without loss.
Yeah, I don't think that it would have particularly made a difference. I mean, we're only not even halfway through this test match yet in terms of days. And this is a Wanderers pitch, which is not known for crumbling. I don't think it would make the blindest bit of difference, honestly, what roller you use on this pitch.
Right. Okay. So, that's a perspective that we needed.
I mean, just having a look at the schedule, I see. Sri Lanka are due to be playing England next Wednesday. I mean, that is an insane turnaround, especially considering England. Well, I suppose England are in quarantine at the moment, so they're not able to really properly practice and so on.
Hasaranga into the attack, replacing Asita Fernando. He goes to Markram, who plays this out to mid-on for a single. So they're going to come thick and fast now with the leg spinner on. Algar is going to face Hasaranga, 16 without loss. Quick one, Ravi.
Yeah. Armchair Cricket Podcast tweets. Thanks for the kind words, Paul Freeman. It would be an absolute pleasure to commentate together. We will reach out to you when possible for a stint with you. So
Hasaranga to Algar, out to deep mid wicket, and they take another single, 17 without loss.
Yeah, we've actually done. We've broadcast some of their podcasts occasionally. During
Hasaranga to Markram, driven past the sliding mid off for 4. Misfield there, diving over the ball or sliding over the ball from the man at mid off. 21 without loss. 3 boundaries in the innings so far.
They're a really interesting bunch of guys. From what I understand, they're all from the subcontinent. I'm not sure if they're all from India or maybe they're sort of scattered around that area.
They're in the Netherlands as well.
Yeah, but they're not in they originate from the subcontinent, but they're in the Netherlands. I think one of them is somewhere else, possibly in England. And
Hasaranga to Markram. This one is blocked outside on the line of off stump. Hasaranga pitching that one in line with the stump and managing to get it to straighten. 21 without loss.
Yeah, they were doing remote recorded podcasts way before it was cool.
Definitely, yes. I've listened to a few of their podcasts. Hasaranga
they've
into
done-
Markram, blocked, smothered into the pitch, coming well forward to the pitch of the ball. Markram has managed to squeeze that out for no run. In again is Hasaranga, and Markram plays this one to square leg. Just in front of square leg, they go for a single. That's the end of the over, 22 without loss.
I think that's probably lunch.
No,
Could be.
not yet.
No, we're a bit behind here on the feed, so I'd imagine there would be another over. It doesn't look like the batsmen are in a conference in the middle of the pitch. So we'll expect one more over to go, and then we'll take lunch.
Hasaranga is unfortunate in that he's not necessarily going to be able to take advantage of the pitch's uneven bounce. And the trouble that Elgar and Markram had against the pace bowlers, Vishwa and Asita Fernando, is not going to trouble them now with Hasaranga bowling.
Vishwa Fernando to Aidan Markram, who defends this on the off-stump line. The ball coming across the right-hander from the left-handed over the wicket, no run. Yeah, it's strange that they took Asita Fernando out of the attack. Maybe it's because of the lunch break coming up. They want him fresh after lunch, I would imagine. I don't know. Maybe trying something different before lunch. Markram out into the covers for no run.
Yeah,
22 without loss.
I can only
Yes.
explain it by. I can only explain it by just wanting a change before lunch, a kind of hit and hope measure, where they hope that leg spinner can do something that the paceman can't. But having him so early in the
Fernando
third over,
to Markram, blocked
fourth.
to the onside for no run. Sorry, Ravi, say again that last bit.
having a leg spinner on in the fourth over is quite unusual.
Yeah.
I think they realized they needed to try something, and
Yes.
why not just give it a bit of a bash, see if you can't flick a wicket.
Markram facing Vishwa Fernando over the wicket, and this one is taken the edge and taken at second slip, and that is the end of Adrian Markram for 14 of 19. Markram with a full-on drive there, cover drive, and it just deviated off the pitch. It looked like just enough got away from him, got the outside edge, and he's hanging around a bit here. I'm not sure if he's
There's going to
reviewed
be a
this.
review.
I mean,
He
they must
is,
be concerned that
strolling.
it's not. It looked good. It was
And
a
the
very, very
umpires are
good catch.
reviewing it.
Second slip.
Oh, it's
diving
an
into
umpire
his hand.
review. Okay. So just to check if it was a clean catch, because there was no doubt
Yeah.
about the edge. It went to second slip off the outside edge. So let's see. The ball comes into the hands and onto the grass.
Yeah.
So he's got the ball in his fingers, just about, but nothing underneath the ball that I can see there. Maybe one finger on the other side of the ball, the ring finger of the left hand, but it looked like that. We'll see what the soft signal was. I didn't catch the soft signal by the umpires.
That
and
ring
they're
finger is
zooming in
underneath
now.
it, but it does look awful.
And,
Yeah,
it's done.
I would say that one definitely bounced, and the hand was on top there. And I can't see anything underneath. They might try another angle to see if he's got a finger underneath the ball there.
Yeah, I think
The
that looks like
problem
it's
is, even if he
grass.
has a finger underneath there, there's still some part of the ball touching the ground.
I think you'll need another angle because there's a not out is signaled. So Markram breathes a sigh of relief. It would be rather embarrassing to lose your wicket now, just before lunch. 2 balls to go. Well, that was the third last ball before lunch, but a good ball by Vishwa Fernando, getting the plan to work there. Almost got the reward. Vishwa Fernando in again to Markram. This one off his hips, out to deep mid wicket, and they'll take 2 runs quickly as the throw comes back in along with Markram to the striker's end. He's on 16 now of 21. 24 without loss is the score, and the target is 67. So 43 more to get for South Africa. 10 good deliveries, and Sri Lanka win the test. One ball to go to lunch.
Yeah, I was going to say it is going to be lunch, and this is the end of my session. And I can't see that I'll be on tomorrow because this will get over at the next session. So
Malcolm defends that last one, and that's lunch. Indeed, Ravi, it's been a pleasure to share the mic with you, and I hope we get to see you again soon, along with some more new faces.
Yeah, Ravi, absolutely special to spend some time with you on the mic, mate. And you stay well, stay safe in Bombay. And
but if you can
we'll chat
with a
during the next
woman,
series.
please do. Please replace me with a woman. We need more female voices on. Yeah,
I totally agree. Unfortunately, our most enthusiastic female commentator has had to move to Dubai because her COVID ate her business. So that's been a bit of a bugger. But yeah, look, our door is always open to anyone who would like to come and try their hand at commentary.
I'm just waiting for Amy to grow up enough to become one of the commentary team.
She's certainly keen. Anything to do with cricket, she's up for. But there again, she's not that interested in commentating on men's cricket. But the second that the women come up, then she's very, very keen.
So Simon, I took the liberty of announcing your email address. That is the correct channel, right?
Which one? Simon Garrett gmail.com?
Simon, the Simon at 1WSR. Which one would you prefer?
Not able to check it at the moment because of IT issues, but yeah, by all means, drop me an email and we'll sort it out.
Okay, so you can also try Mpho, MPHO at 1WSR.com. He knows how to get in touch with Simon.
There we go.
If you are out there listening, or if you know somebody who'd like to try their hand at some commentary, I can tell you from my experience, it's been a closet dream of mine that came true, thanks to Guerrilla Cricket and Guerrilla Cricket South Africa. So still enjoying it immensely, and it is a lot of fun. So get in touch, and thank you for listening, everybody. I'll be back after lunch.
Excellent, guys. Have a great lunch. Stay well, everybody, and we'll be back in about 40 minutes.